All right, all right. I figured I would start this thing really quick. So you guys can see there is a few people here who were brave enough to come to Olympia and wave some flags, all of which are upside down. So that's interesting. But they believe that our nation is in distress right now, which I think a lot of people would definitely agree with that. Especially people in Montana. About 11,000 of them, actually, right? Wasn't that one of Biden's first acts as president, was destroying 11,000 jobs? So there's more people here. They just went for a walk, and I think there's more people coming. We shall see. But they've had a very rosy reception so far. A lot of people driving by, giving them the finger, telling them to F off. And a couple rainbow flags came out of a couple vehicles to wave. So that was cute. But yeah, so these are you guys saw yesterday, there were a few people that came out for the March for Life, about 20 or maybe 30. And these are the other brave souls that decided to come out and show that they weren't afraid. I'd like to also start this thing off by reminding everybody to make sure you check out the description. And there's a link in there to Telegram. Make sure you go to that link, click it, join the thread, because that is the only surefire way that you guys are going to be able to get any actual updates. YouTube has made it very clear that if you are a subscriber, that you must go and hit that bell and hit all of notifications, see all notifications. Otherwise, if you do not hit see all notifications, YouTube said that you will see no notifications. So make sure you guys do that. Make sure you hit the link there to Telegram. Join that thread. You can do it on all your phones. You can do it on your computer even. Pretty nifty. Check it out. I don't know if you guys can hear the music or not. If you can, that's fine. And we've also gotten a little bit of love. A couple people waving. It's about 50-50. Awesome. Okay, then I'll stay here so that way you guys don't hear the music. But yeah, it's been 50-50 about people waving or giving the finger. So when it comes to the music, I sound like Kermit the Frog. What? What do you mean I sound like Kermit the Frog? Like I sound different than I normally do, or I always sound like Kermit the Frog? You guys are being hurtful. So when it comes to the music, lately it's been, you guys are hurtful. You guys are hurtful. My goodness. Mrs. Piggy? Indigo, flag upside down means it's a sign of distress. I do not sound like Kermit. You guys need to stop being rude. Seriously, this is a very serious thing. So if you look at the flag, it's upside down there. You'll see that that means that it is a distress. And a base or a ship will fly a flag upside down to show that that is in distress. So people coming and waving these flags like this are signifying that the nation is currently in distress, which makes a lot of sense because 11,000 people lost their jobs from the Keystone Pipeline thanks to President Joe Biden. You guys are hurtful. David, make sure you go to the Telegram thing. I posted that this was going to happen yesterday evening, and yeah, make sure you guys check that out. Seriously though, I mean, you guys, it's not rocket science. If you want to be informed, that there Subaru there just took out those plants in the center median. Somebody was driving a little distracted there. He might have had a cell phone, or he was just looking at the flags, not really seeing what was happening. Oh gosh, look over here, fellas. There's a truck coming by here with the flag. It's a yellow flag. I'm pretty sure it's got. Oh hey, thank you, love America. There we go. And we got us a snake here. This here's apparently goes against the guidelines there, the community guidelines for the company that prints my apparel. I got a notice. If you guys are on the Telegram there, you'd have already known. So make sure you actually go and do that. Yeah, my wife says I need to have a lot more fun doing these things. I don't know what she's talking about. Didn't Inslee ban citizens from the Capitol? You betcha. I don't know if you guys can see it here. I'll zoom in as far as I can. See that fence over there? Not from Fargo. My goodness. And that fence has been up since shortly after the 6th of January. And Inslee's been very afraid ever since then that the 4 or 5 pro-American people that show up that want to exercise their constitutional rights might break into it. So, go figure. Something fun to notice here, for those of you who watched the live stream yesterday of the March for Life, there was a fairly significant law enforcement presence for the 20 or so people that showed up. There was law enforcement down here, right by that bench right there. There was 2 cars there. There was 2 vehicles over there. There was 2 right here and 2 right there, coming to make sure that the people who were there to have a rally for life didn't put things on the ground. Good times, you bet. State Patrol literally came and tried to shut down a March for Life rally that had a grand total of maybe 20 people, maybe 25 people that showed up. Definitely recommend checking out the little show I did yesterday about it, saying that there was a law on the books that says that you cannot put things on the ground, speakers and a canopy if it rains and stuff like that on Capitol grounds, that it's illegal to do so. Fun fact, it's not illegal to do so. You just have to pay for it, and you have to make sure that the Capitol provides it for you for a very hefty fee. So it's more of like an extortion thing if you want to exercise your First Amendment rights. Ugh. Hey, look at that, more people. Check it out. Yes, if Antifa and Black Lives Matter were to show up, they would have allowed them to not only put up a canopy and or a sound system, possibly a stage. I would almost assume that they would let them park vehicles on there and maybe even dig for some gold. So that's, yeah. And then they'd give them all, what do they call those things? Recognition, some medals, some city medals, saying, hey, thank you for being good citizens. Oh yes, BLM was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. You bet, most peaceful domestic terrorist group you'd ever imagined. Oh, there's more music. Oh golly, whatever, I don't care. YouTube doesn't pay me anymore anyway. But hey, if you guys live in Washington or Oregon, come on over and show that you are unafraid to be an American. These guys are going to be out here for a little while. I'm going to be out here for a little while. More people come to Jersey. I would love to come to Jersey. I would love to. Got anything going on in Jersey? YouTube's been throttling me lately, so my income's pretty pretty jacked at the moment. My traveling is going to be a little hindered. Where's all the National Guard? National Guard has been relieved of their duties here at the Washington State Capitol, but they're still there in DC though. Yes, hit the thumbs up. And now there's more of you. I'm going to tell all of you the same thing I told everybody at the very beginning. Make sure you go hit the description and hit the Telegram link so you can join the thread that I have going on there. It's the only surefire way to be notified of anything going on and or past or present. And if you are a subscriber, make sure you hit the bell and hit all notifications, because if you don't, YouTube has made it very clear that, well, you'll never see it. Thank you, Destiny. I will. Thank you very, very much. Oh, hey, there's the Rainbow Flag family that came by earlier. Maybe they'll do another run by. They're running a red light there. I'm going to get their license plate. Turn them in since we're enforcing all these stupid things. Should be a rally where you bring items and set them on the ground and act like you have no idea how the items got there. Old chair speakers. Oh, I could dig it. You bet. And see, that's the thing. There's a lot of really stupid things going on right now, guys. And thank you, Nolan. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome. Check out the old footage, man. I've been doing this for a while. And there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that you would love to see, I am sure. A lot of riots in Portland that the news denied existing. You bet. White House YouTube is now being used to spread propaganda. Well, of course. Look who's in office. He hasn't passed a bill or anything since he's been there, but he's gotten over 40 executive orders. Most popular president in United States history. Whoop, whoop. You bet. Yes, I did hear about the incident at Salmon Creek last night. I actually went down there as everything was ending. I got there a little late, had some stuff I had to do. And I don't really know how I feel about it. I'll be honest. I don't necessarily agree with all of the things that were said in the live video. I know there's two sides to every story, so it makes me wonder exactly what I want to know what the other side was. So what happened at the Salmon Creek Hospital, for those of you who don't know, there was a lady and her mom, I think, that went into the hospital for a UTI, and the mom has a brain tumor or brain cancer, and the daughter is the power of attorney. They were in there for a day. They asked if she could stay the night to monitor her and get her all better. They agreed, and so they stayed the night. The daughter took her kid, I think, somewhere to like another family member's house or something. And then when she came back, the hospital would not let her back into the hospital because her mom did not test negative for COVID. Now that's the story that is out there. We don't know what the other side is, but you know that if that is the case fully, then yeah, it's pretty jacked up. She should have been allowed back into the hospital regardless, no matter what. I mean, I assume they live together. If anything, they spent the night together the night before, so they should have let her back in. However, what Vaughn just said, yeah, she went a little overboard on the defund the police rhetoric. She was justifiably angry with the police because the police, they called the police, they called non-emergency to try to get an officer there to get the hospital to allow her back in to be with her mom. But they refused to do it. The dispatch said, well, we're not going to do that. And then a little while later, they tried breaking into the hospital and it started making a ruckus anyway. And then the sheriff's department shows up. Then they tried breaking into the hospital. They got bear maced by the cops through the door. And it just kind of like spiraled out of control from there. A whole bunch more sheriff's deputies showed up. And she just kind of lost it on them. Yeah, the cops, like there was negativity on both sides, for sure. I think the hospital definitely screwed up by not, the hospital screwed up by not letting her back into the hospital. Like this whole COVID thing and keeping people separate. Like, where's the liberals? Where's the left? Breaking apart families. Why aren't they out protesting all these hospitals for separating loved ones and family members? Right? There's a thumbs up. So I mean, I'm definitely like, the frustration is definitely justifiable, but I mean, there's two sides to every story. Stuff going on, As for Back the Blue, thank you, Gene. There's a finger. Jeez. So much hate. So much hate. If you don't like somebody, just, ignore them. Oh, I got distracted by the finger. What was I going to say here? Oh, as for Back the Blue, I'm pretty sure that the right is starting to understand that the blue is just going to follow orders. It depends on where you live, of course. If you live in rural America, hell yeah, back the blue. You betcha. You got your, there's a finger. You got your conservative sheriff departments, and you got your conservative, officers and everything, and you don't have to worry about them breaking their oath to office or anything like that. But in most of these metro cities, well, that's a problem. Because they're gonna sit there and they're gonna do stupid things. They're gonna follow stupid orders, and so Back the Blue is more of a location thing.
Common sense conservative.
Yep.
Hey man, I appreciate everything you do. I appreciate you being out there and getting a full fucking visual of what's going on.
Thank you very much. It means a lot.
He places too. I see the places he goes. People fund him. He gets some places. I'm like, he was there yesterday. Now he's there. I'm like, yeah.
Our guy up there, he's interacting with the cops right now. Might be something good to get on.
He's going up to the gate?
Yeah.
All right, I'll go up there.
Just a heads up.
If anything, I'll show everybody here what the lockdown looks like.
Yeah, right on.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, no worries.
All right. So very cool. Guy came up and gave me like $10 and thanked me. Like it's the second time that's ever happened, and I gotta say, like, it kind of gets me in the feels, It gets me in the feels when people do that. Like, it really means a lot. I know every dollar counts whenever anybody, donates on here, or, it's awesome. It's because of people like you guys and them that I can eat anymore. Pay some bills. But I'm going to answer another question I got. Do I think that most cops in cities are not conservative? Well, no, they might be conservative, but the people in charge are not. And even if they are, well, guess what they're still going to do? Follow orders. You look at Portland, the police chief, he could be the most hardcore conservative in the country, but he wants to keep his job. It's going to take a lot for him to defy orders until at least he has another job lined up in rural America or Miami. They're not going to do it. Got to get paid. Got to have a paycheck. Principles only go so far in this country. People talk a good game. People say a lot of cool stuff. But very, very few actually follow through with their principles. I try to be consistent. I'll guarantee you that day that they had all the National Guard here, there was a lot of freedom evangelizing going on. A lot of people were preaching about freedom, about the Constitution and their oath. I'll guarantee you that 90% of everybody who was here, all the National Guard, all the cops, they hated what they were seeing. They hated what they were doing. But not a single one of them was going to do anything else. Not a single one of them was going to back off or leave their post. 2 reasons. 1, paycheck. 3, well, jail. Yeah, paychecks in jail, like those are pretty good motivators for a lot of different things. If you're wanting to look for hospital footage, go to Ammon Bundy's YouTube. It was streamed on Ammon Bundy's YouTube channel last night. Most sheriffs, thank God, are elected. They are not, most sheriffs are not appointed. The ones that are appointed, oh, it's horrible. All right, let's go see what these guys are doing.
All my information, my license plate, my phone number, my address, everything.
Oh, you married?
Well, I'm also pregnant too, so.
Well, heck of a lot of good does enter your phone number if you're all recovered.
Yes, sir.
Waste.
Sorry. I'll keep him around for a while.
What?
I'm definitely going to keep him around for a while.
Now here we are.
That's right.
Armed guards at capitals throughout the country. They know who won.
Yeah.
Probably.
We know who thinks he won.
Well, we know who won, but
Yeah, yes, sir.
we know who he knows he didn't win.
Why a lot.
He knows he
No.
Obviously had a rough life. And he wasn't necessarily antagonizing me. He was walking across the street with that. Jesus says that's this far from that line. Next thing you know, people close down, they're going to take his hand, and because it's a proud America, you know, it's just basically this mistake. So it's never going to do anything to it. They drop him right behind the line. And we have crowds, you know, basically, wearing shirt without it. All these people all around this place. So after that, the state patrol got the police, you know, then they walked in, they got people down a block past the church, down a couple blocks, and then they didn't want to go in fight, so they turned the corner, and they went up and walked right past where they knew Proud Boys were. And so when that happened, they started throwing these rocks and busting up the windows and so Proud Boys were all parking. They all started running that way, hectic situation. And this so happened our car was running down that direction, so like, oh shit, that's my car too, right? So we started running down there. And then about maybe 15 Cowboys and 20 days we passed the police board and blocked the rest of us off and they were in the car. So they were out there, one of them I don't know, I could see it myself, and they were in good stuff or something. And that's when the Cowboys came out. And then they held maybe 5 or 6 Cowboys there before and wanted to talk to them. And then the rest of us wanted back up. And we went over there, there's about maybe 100 pages on the book, really only about 50 pages with the rest of us. And we all spread out everywhere at that point, everything got put out. And I can't put people on stage, and that's when I walked up and I came. And I was like, okay, behind it. The pages, we had the anti-CCP there. They had street fights that were all going on. They're all peaceful groups. There were nobody that ever was get involved. They were getting assaulted left and right. And people was coming in with big groups of this around. And they got the police and stuff. They did it for 5 minutes. This is what happened. So they 5 minutes. They got the first pages. They were all on citizens. So they funnel out the back. They know, I mean, the time's over. It's moved on. And they direct them behind the back and up this way towards Brooklyn. And the commanding officer had no visualization of it. I'm not sure what it is. He was dressed in red t-shirt, which is in place. It looked like he was the only one that was able to talk to him. Right? So I stopped him and I said, hey, listen, is there any other officers patrolling this south side of the property? It looks like they're flanking us. What kind of smoke is that? Is everybody over? Well, everything's going to be fine. Everybody's going to be fine. Just keep on moving. Just keep on moving. Right? Well, like, no. I want to know if our people are walking into a trap. Everything's fine. That's all you need to know. Everything's fine. So we go across the corner. That's not the case. They don't have any officers. And they can start putting blocks and putting stones and everything else. And we're seeing a whole bunch of pictures like in there, like all family groups, like 3 people. With Antifa closing in on them, like, awesome, right? So we get up, my wife and I, she's pregnant. And at that day, because I heard there might be some street fights, I didn't go home. I mean, I don't, none of our kids could, right? Because I didn't want to be involved in fisticuffs on the firearm, right? So we didn't have any protection. And we go up there to the parking lot, I'm sorry. We get up to the parking lot, and all the pictures are there. He's running to the cars, and you can see the people parking out there, but they're still going back and forth there. Because they're the elderly people that are running there. I think there's a lot of buying citizens, flag players, just knowing something's wrong out here with protesting. And they're getting assaulted. And I'm trying to get her right when we get to the end of the park, like going down the sidewalk, there's a view right over the Destin Bridge. A firearm went off, and that's when a gentleman reached back in, just what he thought was disabled girl. So he reached back to a building. He had no idea who she was. She was just wearing some American Patriot colors. And we had no choice because she was surrounded. And everything that led up to that moment, and how they weren't being protected. There was nobody to protect peaceful protest. Nobody with any kind of, authority. And he felt he had no choice, and so he discharged his firearm and shot him. And then along the way, we got there, we got right down the street, we had like John Brown gun club was in between our way, we had passed right by them, get to our car, because we down there. So that week, these very peaceful running pictures that went to communist China that lived there, they were here protesting, thinking that we're heading that direction. They reached out to us and asked, do you guys mind if we come and just be around our rallies to protect us? Because we don't feel like the government's going to protect our own. So we did that. It's a matter of group. You see out here, they went down there not to initiate anything about it, just to stand there, knowing that their long arms and any kind of further man was just there to protect peaceful protesters. That's it. That's it. That's all right. In fact, it's my belief that the Second Amendment is there to protect the First Amendment against any people that would kill us. We're not there. I mean, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I'm 50 years old. I have children. I've never been an activist. I've never even been a flag waver until this year because something weird is going on. And then the next week, that week, 2 days after that, the next week they came out there to help me protect our people. 2 days after that, the city council in Olympia starts calling us basically terrorists. They're colluding with Antifa. They had our faces all on the anti-Southside, anti-fascist communist network. We were threatening people coming out to our houses and doxing us. Just because we're here to protect peaceful protesters because our government did. And the next thing you know, they're talking to legislators. And the only reason why you have this fence here is because about 9 people out there believe in protecting people's rights. We're not vigilantes. We're not going on a night in the week and chasing down anybody. This is the reason why this fence is.
Yeah, if you guys can't hear it, I'm also recording on another camera.
I've been around everywhere for the last
He's talking about
a whole bunch of people, I've only come across
how the people are not vigilantes, now they're not terrorists, and
I don't know anybody's records. I don't know their backgrounds. I know mine. It's crystal clear.
That's the benefit of knowing who you know and knowing yourself, right? The problem is most other people don't know.
Yeah, but do you know what your boss's intent are?
99% of the people that show up to do the right thing, and 1% causes the problem for the other 99%.
Right. And most, just like us defending the police, 99% of them are there for the right thing. The problem is, just like myself, I didn't take a good living. My woman could stay at home. Okay? I have a long line just came here because my face could be better. And it has been. I have a job, but I'm willing to stand up for my grandchildren and their right. I mean, this is the Constitution. If everybody was went by this, everything would be solved overnight. You don't have anybody in government or certain factions or elite, people with money, that can stay in the system. Who's run by this? That's the only thing we're standing for.
I do understand I'm a sergeant of the state of Illinois.
I understand now. You don't be legislature. You be legislature. And if I was a legislator, the first thing I would do if I was a legislator is I would go in there and make sure that no officers that abide by the Constitution are ever going to be stripped out of their retirement, be doxxed by their own government, if they didn't follow the government's agenda and the way they wanted. They used to have free reign to make their own decision of what's right and what's wrong. Because that's what you guys are trained and visualize. I mean, that's where I think the problem is. You should be your own person and know the right and wrong. And
I agree, though, when I put on the shoes that it was enforce the laws of the state of Washington. I could give you my political opinion right now, but it's not.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as long as you follow this.
What I'm wearing this.
As long as you follow this.
We don't have a political opinion when we're wearing a uniform. follow the law.
Well, maybe
We
that
follow
should
the
change too,
Constitution.
because I don't think the Constitution is political. I don't think the Constitution is political at all. You can be a communist organization, you can be you can be whatever you want. As long as you follow the Constitution, you can, I mean, I go to work. If my boss tells me to ignore something that I know is wrong, I have a problem with that and I'll find out. I'm 50 years old, I've been through it. It's not right. And I get it, you guys have fences and all. Because fence is here. There's 9 of us out there.
What's your opinion?
Well, like I said, I've met a lot of groups, and I know a lot of people are not liking what's going on, but I haven't heard anybody colluding together to come down here to gamble with each other. That close to 20%. That close. You get it.
I
No.
don't know what to tell you. I can tell you what our bosses have told us. So, our bosses, we've got bosses who talk about, hey, you gotta go do this, and it's not in the rule, and I'm not follow it. That's what we do. We're not here to make a political statement or to support one side or the other. We support free speech.
Are you?
Support people who have the right to protest.
Are you right? I mean, are you?
I'm not gonna get in an argument.
Well, no.
I'm not gonna get in
See, I
a
think
debate.
constructive debate is not an argument. That's something that we can have. Like you and I can disagree on something, and then we can walk away and know, okay, we just got a disagreement. And that used to be what America was. But now, you have the federal government calling me a terrorist. But if you have a federal officer coming up right now, and they want to detain me, just like they did Thomas Halliburton a couple weeks ago, and I didn't charge them with anything, let them go 4 hours later. Because all you want to do, unarmed, is take part in their constitutional right.
I'm not familiar with that case, so I don't know what's the
That's always the term, right? That's always the line. But you're okay with that, right?
I don't know the case you're talking about.
So that's why you have you here, because you don't know what's going on here for the last 6 weeks. It's easy for somebody to come in.
Your opinion.
And it's my opinion because I'm actually here. Just like I was actually down in Seattle down in July and we got in August. So it was right.
We're just gonna have an argument. I'm just gonna close the fence. We're just gonna disengage. I'm not gonna stand here and have a
Well, I'm not being aggressive.
I came over here to be nice to you. and try to have
Well,
a
you are
discussion
nice.
with you.
I
You're
respect
trying to
that.
change this into a political argument. I'm not here to have a political argument. I'm not offense.
You're just doing your job.
I'm doing my job to the best that we can. We're working with what we got. You know what I mean? Again, do we all have personal political beliefs? Absolutely. Do I tell you what those are when I'm standing here in uniform? No, because it's irrelevant. What I think politically has no bearing on how I do my job. Or how these go through.
I mean, you look like you're almost as old as I am.
Almost
You
exactly
know
the
how it
same.
was back in the 80s.
I've been around the
back
block
in the
enough
80s.
times like you have to understand what's going on. I'm naive to it.
Are you okay with
I've
it?
been down here, I know what's going on.
You just can give me a yes or no. You're okay with it.
It doesn't matter if I'm not here with you. I've got a job. Yeah, my political stance on this has nothing to do with my going here. We'll go first in the meeting while in the uniform about what's going on.
Then I'll give you my number, and tonight, after you're off the clock, why don't you give me a call?
I don't have the luxury of having a political opinion on you. I represent everyone. I represent either side. I represent the public. We're here to
Why you have your uniform on, right?
What's that?
Give me a call tonight. You won't have your other things. Because
I appreciate the offer.
you can be on the left and you can be on the right, and we can unite under one thing, and that's the Constitution.
I can agree with that. I think we're all in the same sheet of music as far as that goes. There's no argument there.
Safety to you.
Appreciate it. We appreciate you guys being out here. We support you guys. We don't. We only said we said it's set up a different way. We don't have the ability to make that decision.
Hey, you know what? We completely understand. Right now, I'm shutting this down. I don't want to see you guys with your hands out and ready to rock. if not,
Sir, I was wondering if you could answer. I have people asking me a couple questions. I have a couple people that are asking me to ask you guys a couple questions. One is considering the Washington State Constitution says that these doors shall remain open and available to the public. How does that fall in line with the State Patrol barring entry?
That would be above my pay grade.
Okay.
That's not a decision I'm able to make.
All right. And then second question is, yesterday there was a March for Life rally down here. And State Patrol came down and told them that they could not put anything on the ground, that there's a rule in place stating that, you can't put like a speaker or a canopy or anything like that. So I went and I did some research on it last night, and I found that you're not allowed to do it unless you pay the Department of
That I don't.
Enterprise Services or whatever. So
What we've been instructed is that they're not supposed to put up anything, speakers or tents or anything on the grass, on the grounds here themselves. What would get around that, or what would change that at all? That would be a better question for the facility here.
do you
Just don't know what the intricacies of those rules are.
do you by chance know who decided to start enforcing that? Okay. I mean, it caught a lot of people.
Around here,
Right.
we're sent down here for a week or two or for a few days. We're given a brief on here's kind of what the guidelines are at the moment. But we don't get into those decision-making processes prior to showing up.
Right.
We get here and they say, "Okay, we'll stand by the fence," and so we do. Command this post, so we do. As far as the policy type stuff, we don't do.
Do you know who anybody could contact to find out?
I can try to see. I've got a packet of some information. Let me see if I can find you a media member.
That'd be awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Sorry, guys. I didn't realize that I wasn't on him when I first started asking the question.
If the restricted area is three sides of the... Yes, it is.
No, I think you know
You could have held it all the way back.
So I think the most interesting thing there was when I asked him about the Constitution, the Washington State Constitution, saying the doors should be open. He acknowledged that and he was aware of that, but he said it was above his pay grade, and it's sad. It really is.
Turned it off. It's like you turned it off.
Oh yeah, this is 100% a show of power. And that's why I keep telling everybody repeatedly over and over and over again that people need to show up. People need to start demonstrating. People need to start getting out. And, I had this lady sitting there complaining and saying that I was being mean by calling her out. She's like, people work, dude. And I'm like, cool, you work 7 days a week? No? Okay, then get out and do something. Because, this is going to remain here until enough people start making a fuss about it. I mean, this is going to stay forever. Nobody cares. Same thing with Washington, D.C. Nobody cares. Nobody's going to go to D.C. and say, let us into our Capitol building. It's our constitutional right to be a part of it, to be a part of the process. It's our constitutional right to be involved. It's our constitutional right to be able to get a hold of our legislators. But nobody's going to go. Nobody's going to care. So this fence will be up until March 1st, as of now. As of now.
Oh yeah, good. I work for the Supreme Court. I don't know where should I start. I usually start
walk. I'm happy to walk.
Correct. The right does not march, it does not protest, it does not riot, doesn't do anything. It believes in the system. The right believes that the system will fix itself. Unfortunately, the right is also naive enough to think that the system will fix itself. The right has done nothing for 70 years. Who do you think has been working on the system? Who do you think has been creating the system that we are now living in? Do you think that the right has helped create this system? No. The right has sat on their couches for 70 years, and the right has gone to work, and they've paid their taxes, and they've been good citizens. That's what the right has done. The right only got mobilized when people started getting assaulted by Nazis and actual legit brown shirts for supporting a candidate. And now that their candidate is no longer in power, guess who's not showing up anymore? It's too bad. The right does have a conscience and prefers not to break laws. However, if you remember, there was a few Republicans actually, that broke a lot of laws. A little thing called civil disobedience, peaceful law breaking for a political agenda. You guys ever heard of Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King Jr.? Some people broke some laws and they changed the country. And they were Republicans. Weird. I don't think anybody really believes that only the right entered the Capitol. And correct, if they do think that, then they are special. Because they're wrong, unfortunately. I mean, everybody would love to think and hope and pray that, one or the other. It was only Antifa or it was only Trump supporters, but that's not the case. It's not true. There were people from both sides there. I mean, even the one here that happened on the exact same day, people broke into the governor's mansion compound. There were 2 legit Nazis there. Actual Nazis. Self-proclaimed. I have footage.
Her name is Charlene McHenry. She works for the Department of Executive Services, I think is the name of the entity here that runs that. That's her phone number. Apparently she's working today.
Okay.
So if you call her, she can probably either come and meet you somewhere or answer the questions you have regarding that kind of stuff, because I just don't know.
Awesome. Right on, man. Nope, that's good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Stay safe, guys. All right. Now I'll go down. Oh no, yeah, he was cool. Like, he was good. Like, you cannot sit there and this is the thing that needs to be happening when it comes to right versus left. So last night at Salmon Creek Hospital, whatever her name is, who was live streaming what was going on, she was just totally screaming at the cops, talking crap to all of them, so on and so forth. But the problem is that don't hate the officers. Hate the people in charge of the officers who are giving them the unconstitutional orders or, telling them to do the stupid things. Like, 90% of the cops are good guys. The majority of cops are good guys. The majority of cops want to do the right thing. The majority of cops want to enforce the laws, the way they're supposed to be enforced. But, yes, and I can also admit there's some bad cops out there. You bet. I live in the real world. But just like conservatives continuously try to say, right? Individualism matters. Judge somebody not based on the color of their own skin and or uniform, but on the character. Now, if cops are sitting there and they're watching a dude get, killed, and they're just standing there watching it, well, then those cops are bad cops. Feel free to berate them and talk trash and do whatever. But again, it's individual. It's handy. It works good. Little girl was commenting on my setup here. I'll admit it's pretty sweet. Oh man, looks like I missed a little bit of drama. Somebody looked like they were talking crap down there. Cops acting on unlawful orders, there's no excuse for that. And the one giving those unlawful orders, there's no excuse for that. Both of those groups deserve no support or respect as a base minimum. It's easy to say. Super easy to say that. Problem with that though is paycheck, jail, pension. You know, like, you don't like wearing a mask, right? This is how I bring that analogy up. You don't like wearing a mask. You work at Walmart, okay? You don't want to wear a mask. You're going to sit there and go, I'm not going to wear a mask. What's going to happen? You don't have a job anymore. So you got to go find another job. But you're not going to wear a mask. You're not going to wear a mask. You're not going to do it no matter what. Where are you going to go work? You're going to have to move 1,000 miles to a red state that doesn't have a lockdown going on, and then maybe you can get a job at a Quickie Mart. When it comes to full-on orders where it's like, go shoot all those patriots, and they, follow that, you bet. You have 100%, of an argument. When they say, go out and enforce the law, well, don't really have much of an argument. You can be angry that they're enforcing laws that they've never enforced before, but you don't really have an argument calling the cops out for being horrible people. That's what happened in Portland. There was dueling rallies, and police started giving citations to people who were in the street. They've never done that. But they were doing it to try to keep everybody mellow. So, there you go. And again, if you don't like what the cops are doing, if you don't like the orders that the cops are getting, well then maybe you should show up, start demonstrating, start voicing how you don't like it, and be a part of the change. Don't just be a keyboard warrior. Be a part of the change to make it better. Move to Idaho and keep it a strong red state. Ooh, except there's a lot of people from Seattle moving to Idaho. Just like there's a lot of Californians that move to Arizona and Nevada. I believe if you change states, well, you need to sign a contract saying you're not going to bring your crap with you. There's a couple fingers that came up there. So for those of you who are watching, but you couldn't hear stuff, I was recording the story he was telling on my other camera, and what he was doing was he was telling the story about when State Patrol. Oh, there they go again. They're playing songs, waving their little flag. Came by a few times now. But anyway, he was telling a story about how State Patrol and Capitol Police, Olympia Police, sat and watched Antifa beat up a guy who was just standing in a crosswalk. And they watched as Antifa advanced upon him and tore him up, it beat him up really bad. And all he was doing was standing in a crosswalk right down here, actually. Right down there. And Antifa came up the hill on the other side. Police watched. They watched Antifa continue to advance upon him. And then the guy just didn't move. He stood his ground. He stood in the middle of the street on the crosswalk, and Antifa came up, pulled him into the middle of them, and where they commenced to beat him with clubs and... Huh? Nah, you're good. where they commenced to beat him, and the guy had he was tore up. That same day, Antifa then continued to advance on the small number of Patriot people that were out here, and State Patrol blocked the Patriot people from retreating, and they made them redirect. And they made them redirect over here. I filmed all of this stuff, so you guys can go check it out. It's called shooting footage. But they came on the other side of that building there. Antifa came on this side of that building. It's the insurance building. Came over here. You see where the police tape is, crime scene tape. Came up there. Antifa headed them off. A couple people stood to kind of provide an exit for the people who are trying to scramble out of the parking lot up there. And Antifa came. There was a guy who was coming at one of the older lady there with a hammer, and he was shot in the stomach by a fellow. And the dude saved the lady's life, really. Prime time. I love prime time. But yeah, so it's all filmed. I filmed it all. Go check it out. It is. It's pretty amazing. Tommy and Dean are inciting violence. I missed it. Let me see. Hey, what's up? I'm gonna go ahead and boop. Choose to give Biden a chance. A lot of people gave Trump a chance, right? Millions of people gave Trump a chance. I don't mind giving Biden a chance. I gave him a chance for 48 hours. And in 48 hours, Biden signed 72 hours. Biden signed 40 executive orders and killed 11,000 jobs. Boom. Biden no longer gets a chance. Are you kidding me? How can you give Biden a chance? It was done in a day. Are you high? It's been done. Like, there's no chance to give Biden anymore at all. 11,000 people lost their jobs with the stroke of a pen in a day. How can you give Biden a chance after that? Not to mention, like, we're going to get all this solar and wind power now? Are you kidding? There's zero economical genius when it comes to solar and wind power. Solar and wind is the least cost-effective form of energy anywhere. Hence why Germany is moving away from wind power. You know, the leaders of wind technology, they decided, this is a stupid idea. We're not going to do it anymore. Now, one thing I can support 100% is everybody putting solar panels on their own private houses. You bet. Save them some money, make some money. Go ahead, put in some more subsidies to make it easier for Americans to put solar panels on their individual houses. But, like, you can't sit there and say solar and wind are smart when it's, you know, wind and solar is great. Hydro's good. It's renewable. It's cheap. It's practically free. And then nuclear, of course, is amazing. But let's go ahead and take up a whole ton of acreage when it comes to solar and wind. That's logical. That makes sense. This is the Common Sense Conservative channel. We don't play games when it comes to fantasy and delusion. Oh, it's ridiculous. How do we know any of this? I do a lot of research on the subject. I live in, of course, Washington, as most of you know. And, Washington and Oregon, we're a big hydro state. We have dams all over the Columbia, of course. We have a bunch of greenies that are sitting there trying to take our dams away. And we also have wind. And the amount of acreage that the wind turbines take up is it's disgusting. It is disgusting how much land that the wind takes up, that the wind turbines take up, and they don't even produce a fraction of the power that one hydroelectric dam provides. Just one little one. I live in a county that has their own hydroelectric dam, and we produce more power than the county can actually use, to the point that we sell it to the Bonneville Power Administration. So we actually make money. Like, it just bothers me. Czar, thank you. Nope, not Czar. Is it Czar? Hold on, I gotta find it again. Corrigan. It's just, it's horrible. I can't pronounce the name sometimes. But thank you very much. It really means a lot. Really, really means a lot. Violence is the only true gold standard, the only reset. Anyone who says violence isn't the answer is stealing from you. Well, I don't agree with that. There's a lot of steps that can be taken before violence is necessary, and they can be. But the problem is that there's some people out there that want to go from 0 to 100 instead of, doing the process, and that's a problem. James, I don't doubt that you've done a lot of research, but there's also research out there that sounds convincing that solar and wind are good. That's the problem. I don't know who to believe. The best thing to do, James, when it comes to solar and wind is, there's been a few studies and stuff, but of course anybody can do a study that can say anything. Look at the maintenance costs. Look at the output, the cost per, megawatt, milliwatt, whatever it is, output, and go from there. And then from there, go to maintenance costs. Like, honestly, that's really the best way to do it. Just do a comparison on hydro and nuclear, and then compare it with the wind and solar. Even coal, like, honestly, clean coal. Like, I can understand people not wanting clean coal because it sounds mean. Whatever. We could be 100% export of coal. That's cool. But even natural gas. Natural gas is probably the third cleanest form of energy that we have in this world. Behind nuclear and hydro when it comes to like high output. But yeah, check them out.
You're the best.
Hey now, Bliss, I don't know about that. I don't, I listen to streamers I don't like sometimes. You ever heard of Young Turks? I listen to them a lot, and I laugh a lot. And I really should start doing shows on their shows because they're so special. They're amazing. Some of the crazy things they say. I would start doing shows on like CNN and MSNBC, but I really do not have the patience because it just takes them so long to actually get those gems. Do I think that Q might be legit at all? God, no. There's no. I think Q destroyed the right. I think Q really just it brought out a bad side. Conservatives have been sitting at home for a long time, and they really wanted some hope, and it was rough. It was rough. James, I'm all about it. You bet, 100%. I love having conversations with people. I love talking to people, getting to know people. Deal.
Are you gonna use the fucking crosswalk or not?
Oh, no, we're just standing here, man. We're not in the fucking crosswalk. Standing right, just standing.
He actually waved you on.
Yeah.
It's an angry soul right there. It's an angry human being. Got a little distracted there. They just ran a red light too. The guy was so conscientious of somebody standing near a crosswalk that he obviously could run a red light. So that's good job there, Sparky. Miss Bliss, 100%. I think it's a shame. You know, I had a I had this thing that I would say about right-wingers, about how right-wingers use common sense, reason. That's how you could tell us apart. That's how you could tell us apart from the left, because of our ability for rational thought, and you know, the fact that we were not just a bunch of emotional idiots. Sorry for all the shaking here, guys. I'm trying to kind of plug in my stuff. But that we weren't just a bunch of emotional children just crying about stupid stuff. And Q destroyed my hope in my fellow man. It was a very sad time in my life. There we go. Too many people got too emotional. Too many people got, I'm sorry. I'm so distracted right now trying to plug my stuff in. Boom. There we go. Now we're playing with fire. Yeah. Yeah. That was the longest sentence of all time. But yeah, don't like you. Don't like you. Made me feel bad for my fellow people. Blurred the lines. Instead of faith in Q, have faith in God and take action. I would even go so far as to saying, instead of having faith in Q, how about you wait and see what happens? That guy there came through just yelling a whole bunch of stuff. He's still yelling. He's still yelling down there. Yelling and swerving around. No, he's still... I told him to come back a third time. Oh, that's awesome. Tried rolling smoke, didn't work out very well. It's all right, Thomas. We forgive you. So that's one thing, you know, even though it's just a few people here, there's always a little bit of excitement. Just the fact that a couple American flags, granted they are upside down, but a couple American flags can trigger people so much to have them come by multiple times. It's crazy. But hey, while I have all you people here, make sure you go to the description of this video and click on the Telegram link so you guys can be notified of any and all content that I put out. Memes, videos, articles that I'm going to start writing. And if you are a subscriber, or if you want to be a subscriber, when you do subscribe, make sure that you click that bell and hit all notifications. YouTube made it very clear in an email that they sent to all creators that if you do not hit the show all notifications on that bell, you will not see any more content. It actually says that in the description or in the email. It says they will not see any more content. So make sure you hit that bell. Make sure you hit all notifications. I would like to see you all again. I have I guess I'm down to like 93,000 subscribers now. I was at 95 a month ago. And YouTube's purging the ranks. Somebody asked why the flags are upside down. The flags are upside down to signify that they are a nation in distress. See ya, Bill. Nobody's waving a Trump flag. It's okay. Sorry for yelling, guys. This guy said F Donald Trump. And you guys see a Trump flag here? Anywhere? How many flip-offs? I think it's about 50-50 between flip-offs and honks. Granted, some of the honks are deceptive because they start as a honk and then they're like, hey, no, look at me flip you off. But yeah, there's a lot of fingers for sure. I try to point them out, but I know you guys can't see them through the glare. Dean, unfortunately, I cannot have comments like that on the comment feed, my friend. I would have to ban you, mainly because YouTube is checking this crap. Free speech only goes so far, as we all know with these tech guys. So yeah, any more of the whole like Civil War stuff, unfortunately. I mean, I want everybody to be able to have their opinion and voice their opinion, but calling for acts of violence, YouTube has been using that as a way to get us. Just from comments. It's not anything I say. It's nothing that anything like that's going on. It's a comment. Like somebody's comment can be enough to take down a channel. Robert, there is no National Guardsmen here right now. We just have State Patrol. There's a few State Patrol, not very many, but a few. See, that was a honk and a finger. So that was a honk and a wave. That was a finger. But guys, I mean, we need more people. Watch the video I did last night. I did a little evangelizing for freedom. There was a black bloc goon that walked around earlier, took a couple pictures while I was talking to the State Patrol. But yeah, it's been pretty mellow. Yes, a lot of people are moving out of liberal states into conservative states, and unfortunately they're destroying those conservative states. Goodbye, Arizona. Goodbye, Nevada. Even though Nevada's always been kind of weird. Oh, there was a finger. Where's the Trump flag? There's a F Donald Trump car going by. There's the thumbs down. Oh, you bet. The Olympia State, the Washington State Capitol is way better than the Oregon State Capitol. And it's not just that, it's the entire complex. We've got the Capitol building is right there. This little building right here is the insurance building, which you cannot see though. Across on the right side, across from the Capitol building is our Supreme Court. And then there's another building right there that I don't know what that is. And then there's a few more buildings in the back. Like we actually have like an actual little mall area. Very, very, very pleased with our state capitol. And then of course we have more buildings over yonder and there as well. So yeah, it's pretty nice. Oregon State Capitol. It's got a nice park. Yeah, Trump. Oh, that guy there just did a Sieg Heil in his little car there. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. Apparently that poor soul doesn't understand that Nazism and freedom are not cohesive. They don't work out together. They can't work together. conservatism and Nazism, fascism, so on. They cannot coexist. So that poor, uneducated dipshit, pardon the language, just sig heiled for nothing. Just showed his ignorance. Good times. I must say it was super fun calling out the actual Nazis that showed up on January 6th. That was good times. Would I consider teaming up with Boogaloo Boys? I don't think so. I don't think so. So far, I have not. Oh, there's a guy shaking his head. That was too bad. Poor little fella. But yeah, so far I haven't been impressed with any Boogaloo anything. Jackknife. I say get out there, but where is out there? Make sure you go to the description of the video and click on the Telegram thing so you can be aware of events that are going on. Right now, the way social media has been tearing stuff up, it's really hard for even me to find out about events coming up. This event here, I was told by a fan. Somebody commented on one of the videos and I happened to see it. And that's why I'm here. And then I posted it on the community wall and on the Telegram thing. East side of the state, like Spokane, I don't know. Like, it's really hard for me to even find stuff. If I found an event in Spokane, I would go. Or Tri-Cities or whatever. Like, it's my job, you know, and with nobody being public anymore and everybody being scared, not hosting events, yeah, if I got to drive a little bit to go to an event, I'm going to drive a little bit to go to an event. They're important. They need to be seen. They need to be shown. People need to be aware that there's some unapologetically freedom-loving Americans out there that are standing up for everybody's freedom. See, that was an angry honk. So many haters. The deep state wants to impeach Trump to make sure he does not run again in 2024. They are super scared of him. Well, they already impeached him, but they want to convict him so he cannot run again in 2024. Trump's scary. Trump is a populist. He's not a conservative. He's a populist. So, you know, that's scary. Look what happened to GameStop. It's a populist thing. Taking money from the rich, screwing up the hedge funders. Jeff, yes, I did see that. I actually headed down there for that. I got there a little late. But yeah. Impeachment does not mean he cannot run again. Correct. That's why he's already been impeached. Conviction, however, for those of you who don't know, impeachment just means accused of a crime. And actually, a lot of people, for some reason, think that impeachment means out of office. That's not the case. Impeachment only means that he's been accused of a crime. Like, essentially, it's a grand jury. That's what an impeachment is. It's a grand jury saying, hey, we think that he committed this crime. And then he goes to the Senate for his trial, where he will get acquitted because no matter what, there's not going to be enough senators to actually vote for him to go away. They need 15, and that ain't going to happen. Especially considering, 45 already signed a letter calling the whole process illegal. So that ain't going to happen. Like, there's no way. So it's all for show. It's just so they can sit there and go, we impeached him twice. We're the first ever. And he was so bad. We impeached him twice. Oh, look at us. We accomplished so much ever. Even though we knew that you know, it wasn't going to happen the first time. We know it's not going to happen now, but we're going to do it anyway because look at us. We're Democrats and we only go off of feelings, and real life is stupid, and we don't like real life because real life, if people actually thought about real life, nobody'd ever vote for us anymore because all they know is that all we have is our talking points and all we have are our feelings and nothing else matters. So, you know. I mean, that really is it, guys. I mean, that's 100% it. Like, if Democrats were actually honest, if Democrats didn't have a double standard, they'd have no standard at all. But if Democrats were actually honest, they'd have no voters. Because, like, think about it. Think about their entire platform for minorities is what? You're black, or you're brown, or you're native, or you're whatever, and you are unable to take care of yourself. That is their entire platform. You, because you are not white, cannot take care of yourself. You, because you are not white, have to rely on us to take care of you. That's why we have protective classes. That's why we have affirmative action. That's why we have preferred status. That's why we have all of these things to make sure that you know that you cannot take care of yourself, so we're going to take care of you instead. And that's racist. It's 100% racist. The entire platform of the Democrat Party is racist. 100% racist. And yet they're going to sit there and talk about other people being racist? Are you kidding me? They're going to accuse other people of being racist? It's deflection. That's all the Democrats have is deflection. Oh, well, we don't like rich people, so we're going to try to make everybody poor. We're not trying to make the poor richer. We're trying to make the rich poorer. $15 minimum wage? Are you kidding me? Let's go ahead and destroy small business. Thank you, Nick. Hey, there's a reason, Seashell, there's a reason that Trump got a higher black and Hispanic percentage vote than any Republican since Lincoln, or since before LBJ. Like, I mean, there's a reason. And the reason is because Trump did a really good job, of exposing what is going on. Exposing the actual left and what they stand for. Suki, yeah, it's pretty cold. It's pretty chilly. Went from 4% to 8%, it's nothing to boast about? Okay, so you're telling me that certain specific counties that have never voted red ever in the history of their existence, going all red, that's nothing to brag about? Really? Border towns doing that? Huh, that's weird. No, you're right. You're right. Nothing to brag about. And it actually would be something to brag about if for one thing right here, all right? The left spent 5 years, doing nothing. Oh, double middle fingers there. But the reason why it is something to brag about is because the media and politicians have spent 5 years calling everybody who votes for him a white supremacist and a Nazi. All of them. Even Fox News, which now has lost pretty much all credibility except for the night guys. But everybody was calling all Trump supporters racist white supremacists. And with all of that and the politicians against Donald Trump, and he was still able to get a pretty huge gain. What do you mean? That's not what you said. Don't strawman me. No, it is something to brag about when the entire American machine was painting Trump and everybody who supported Trump as a white supremacist. The whole machine did that. If the machine was honest, whatsoever, Trump would have gotten the majority. But the fact that he still made a pretty impressive gain with the machine calling him a racist Nazi, it's not straw man, homie. That's reality. Aw, nice lady. Nodded her head. Middle finger. Thumbs down. What do I think about the fence staying up around the DC Capitol building? I think it's horrible. I think it's an atrocity. I think that it's also probably one of the most amazing things to be seen. And let me tell you why. Because conservatives haven't done anything since before the 1960s. It has been over 70 years since conservatives, Republicans, right-wingers has done anything. And conservatives did something. This is something stupid. Don't get me wrong. Like, I don't agree with it, what they did, but they did something, and they're afraid. They are afraid. The establishment is afraid. There is so much fear because of one action. One isolated incident has created fear. That's power. That's power. But you know what else is power? The fact that they have scared millions of people to stay home. They have scared millions of people into staying home and not coming out and joining this, and not going out and showing that they're unapologetically American and unafraid. So, you know, it's horrible. The wall is horrible. But conservatives, again, are conservatives going to do anything? Are they going to stand up? Are they going to stand up for their rights? I don't know. Some people did something, you bet. Who's lying, Andy? Who's lying? I'll call them out. And if you're saying I'm lying, oh, please give me an example. That's one thing that I don't think left or right could ever say about me, is that I am dishonest or a hypocrite. So if you're gonna want to call me out, please give an example. Give me a quote, a little something. I'll have a conversation. Oh, the hypocrisy is amazing. Like I said, if Democrats didn't have double standards, they'd have no standards at all. Roadkill, what am I uneducated on? I'm always willing to learn. Always willing to learn. I love learning. That's how I can sit here and go, I think I'm right on stuff. XN, what was the most surprising thing I saw one in DC? I'll tell you that I walked 25 miles when I was in DC, and it was around the fence. The majority of it was trying to walk around the fence. I got tired of it. I got irritated by it, and I jumped on a scooter and went back to my hotel because I was super annoyed. It was the most surprising thing I saw was how many National Guard there was, the security that they put up for nothing. It was literally nothing. And the fact that maybe there were 100 people that showed up. Tyrant Slayer, thank you very much, man. It means a lot. It really does. Thank you. The FBI put out a statement saying that there were going to be threats at all 50 capitals. That was a lie. We all knew it was a lie. We knew there was nothing at all about that whatsoever. There was no plans. There was no uprisings. There was no nothing. And the fact that they just took it. They took it. They took the bait. The feds took the bait. It was shocking to me that there's actual dictatorships that have more freedom in their capitals than we do in our country. It was shocking. It was shocking how many checkpoints there were and how the Secret Service was everywhere, checking people, bags and everything like that. It was nuts. It was nuts. I could not believe it. And nobody showed up. Like, the most popular president in history, and nobody showed up. There was maybe 100 people there. Like, the most exciting thing that happened was a couple street preachers showed up and trolled everybody, told everybody they were going to hell. Like, it was nothing. Yes. So I saw the back half of the parade, or the quote-unquote parade. It was a joke. Like, it was sad and depressing. I just couldn't believe it. I could not believe what I saw in Washington, D.C. I can now say that I went to Washington, D.C. for a presidential inauguration, and it was the most sad and disappointing thing that I think I've ever experienced as an American. And I've experienced some horrible things, but like, it was horrible. It was sad. But I will tell you that there was something amazing that happened while I was in DC as well. And it's not surprising, I guess, but it was amazing. And on the last night that I was there, I was walking back from Black Lives Matter Plaza, and I was walking through this. It was just ghetto. If you've been to DC and actually have been in like DC proper, like it's pretty ghetto. It's pretty bad. And I was just lamenting on how much history there was in DC and how much, the monuments and how beautiful DC used to be. And, all the rats and just filth and homeless people and disgust, that was all around. And all of a sudden I heard this trumpet. Yes, James, exactly, the trumpet player. And it was surreal. He was playing America the Beautiful, and like it brought chills. Like I had chills just because it was echoing off the buildings. I had no idea where it was coming from. The guy was given a big old L on his forehead, and I had to go find the guy. And it was funny because I got to my hotel and I could still hear it, and then it stopped. And I'm like, okay, where is this dude at? And then he'd play again for a little bit. So I'd start walking in the direction I thought it was coming from, and he would stop again. And I'm like, okay, this isn't fun anymore. And so I was like, all right, whatever, I'm going to go to bed. I'm tired. And I get back to the hotel again, and he starts playing again. So I'm like, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to go find this dude if it's the last thing I do tonight. And I go and I grab a scooter, and I'm like, I'm going to get to him before he stops playing. And I go find him, and he's a homeless guy. And he was just playing for money and stuff, but it was just surreal. It was awesome. If you guys haven't seen the video, definitely check it out. It's titled "So Something Kind of Cool Happened in Washington D.C." I think it was cool. It just sounded amazing, and it really brought me into like this different headspace because I was kind of depressed because of what was going on in our nation's capital. It was rough. Nicole, you are watching some brave Americans out here waving some flags, showing that they're unapologetically American, showing that they're not afraid of the mythical traps that are being set for them in the state capital of Washington here in Olympia. And they've been getting some hate. Nobody's thrown anything at them yet, but they're definitely getting some fingers and some people yelling at them. Upside down flags. Sir, I have people asking why your guys' flags are upside down. Can you fill them in for me?
Since the mid-1800s, this country's never been in such distress. Behind closed doors with your eyes closed, not be able to see. No one really cares for this anymore. And this is how I run my life. I'm 50 years old. Never been in trouble with the law. It's a hard-working American. Pay my taxes and just try to raise my family and hold out my own business as I thought I was taught when I was a kid about the United States. But look what's going on. They're calling people like you and I terrorists. This is ridiculous, man.
There you go. Now you guys can hear them a little bit better.
It's absolutely insane. I mean, I've never been an activist. I've never been even come down to a rally at all my whole life because I'm just too busy working, too busy growing my children. I could see some weird things going on in the background, and I kept up with it, but nothing's been worth getting me off my tail and coming down here until now. I mean, we are the last generation, I believe, that can stop this and do it peacefully. If we wait off another generation, it's too late. It's too late. And the only recourse at that point will be take up arms, and by then they won't even allow us to even carry them. we're really in troubling times. So you wonder why the flag's upside down. I mean, that's exactly why. My grandparents, going all the way back, I've read all the heritage stuff in my background, and we fought to save the slaves. I mean, you look at Yountsville, California, Eugene, Oregon, all those, my heritage came all across the country because they thought it was getting too restrictive on the East Coast. They came out here because they believed in the flag, they believed in what it stood for. And here we are today, and here I am at 50 years old, out here flying the flag upside down. Because I truly believe that the only way this is going to be solved is if other people like myself wake up and just show a face and wave a flag upside down. If we had just thousands of people out here in the park doing it, people would take notice. But I get it, people have jobs, people have their lives, people have their families, and their spouses may be trying to keep them, thinking more about the family, whatever it may be. And then you have those that have their religious leaders and their priests and preachers telling them, to find their way in God. This is what we've done for thousands of years, and we've survived. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm a religious man, maybe not to the extent of other people, but that's what for thousands of years, that's what they've been saying. And you look in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and the former Soviet Union, that's exactly the approach they took, and look how it turned out. No one's here to save us. We can only save ourselves. And if we want to save our children, our grandchildren, we have to show face. And I'm not saying go down there and beat your chest and threaten war. I'm saying just show face. Enough people out there know that what's going on is wrong, and they need to speak up no matter how scared they are to do so.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Don't worry, I didn't tell him to say any of that. That's him. That's all him. That's all from him. All from his soul. All from his heart. And I agree. Correct. This is nothing like the Soviet Revolution or the Russian Revolution, because this is all we have right now. It's all we have so far. Where's everybody else at? Look at Hong Kong. You know what? Actually, don't look at Hong Kong. Look at how this nation was created. Just look at what started the revolution in this country. It was a piddly tax. We have a higher tax increase annually than what we went to war for. The atrocities that the colonists dealt with, that started the Revolutionary War, is nothing compared to what we deal with here. And oh, come on, Robert, ask me a question. Ask me any question you want to know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Exactly, Kind Grinds. Yes, 100%. Explain the tragedies, the persecution, just the persecution of being, not following all of the censorship and so on. Come on. It's basic history, all the stuff that happened that led up to the Civil War. What persecution? People getting killed for having an opinion. What they did in pretty much the entire world until the United States showed up. having an opinion, speaking against the crown, speaking against your government gets you killed in pre-America America. That's a pretty specific detail, homie. I'm just saying those people died. All right, bye, Robert. See you, little fella. An idiot. Yes, people died. Hey, that's what your people say all the time, right? People died. People are gonna die. If we have freedom in this country, people are gonna die. If you're only here just to say a bunch of stupid random crap and not actually be a part of the conversation, then peace. I'm not blocking Thomas because I haven't seen Thomas do anything that was like just stupid. I think Thomas is so far having a conversation and or asking questions. So Thomas is welcome here so far. Same thing with a couple other people. People have to have conversations. It's the only way people are going to learn. You know, you don't always have to agree. I talk to Antifa almost on a daily basis on different platforms, and you know, we have lots of conversations. How else are you going to learn? How else are you going to find compromise? Like if it's an echo chamber, like they want to make Twitter and Facebook and so on, then I mean, how are you going to learn anything? Got a new arrival. Have a good one, Thomas. It takes a lot for me to block somebody. Like if they just come on here and all they're doing is throwing out insults and just being a douchebag, then yeah, that'll get them a pretty quick block. But like I like people talking, having debates and conversating. It's important. Percentage of thumbs up and thumbs down for vehicles, I'd say it's almost 50-50. The ratio, I think, has stayed pretty close to the same. Now, thumbs downs to middle fingers, that very few thumbs downs, lots of middle fingers. Hey, when it comes to bad-mouthing Trump, like Trump, I don't believe like some do that Trump was the second coming of Jesus. Trump was not a conservative by any stretch of the imagination. He was a populist, and he did a lot of good things for this country that I can agree with. But I don't think that Donald Trump was the second coming of Christ. So there is that. I don't like how Trump handled his last month or so in office. I think that Trump lost us Georgia. But if any, like, you can't sit there and deny that he did a lot of good things for this country, and that's the biggest thing. Is like people can go, well, he was mean. Well, cool. That doesn't mean anything. He said mean things. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. You know, if you don't like somebody's personality, great. I hated Trump's personality. I did not like Trump's personality whatsoever. Lord Fatfur, since I just deleted you, banned you, I'm going to go ahead and ban you again here in a minute. But I will answer your question. I am not censoring your opinion. I'm not censoring your free speech whatsoever. I am censoring you not being constructive to the conversation. I am censoring you because you are a menace and a nuisance. You're not helping the conversation. You are not progressing the conversation. You are not giving anything to the conversation. So yeah, I will ban you again. You're a troll, nothing else. But back to Trump. you know, and a lot of people did like his personality. Like I'm big. I'm a super conservative. Like I believe in conservative values staunchly. I do not. I was a Scott Walker fan in 2016. I wanted Walker really, really bad. He was the only true like hardcore conservative. Rand Paul was probably number two. But I was really wary of Rand Paul because I didn't really like his dad. I'll be honest. I didn't like Ron, so I thought Rand was going to be kind of following in his dad's footsteps there. So I was kind of wary. Indigo, totally. See, my biggest problem with Ron Paul, like I agree with Ron Paul in a lot of things, but I do not agree with isolationism. And that's where Ron Paul lost me, and it lost me big. I don't believe isolationism is a good way to go ever. Mainly because look what isolationism got us, World War I and World War II. And I think Trump, and that's where I really liked Trump with his foreign policy. He didn't start any wars, but he answered any form of aggression appropriately, I believe. If an American died, we took care of it. I mean, he used Moab. How cool is that? It's so awesome. Oh, it was amazing. It was awesome. And, you know, another American died, like he handled it. He took care of it. We didn't start a war. I mean, shoot, everybody wants to sit there and call Trump, you know, a Russian tool, but Trump is the first American president to ever kill a Russian. He's the only one. He's the first president to kill Russians. Accidentally. I mean, we warned him. We said, hey, that we should not, you know, he said, hey, we're going to bomb them. And the Russians, you know, were still there when they should have been out. But, like, again, Trump was the first guy to ever kill a Russian, first president to reside over Russian soldiers dying. So there is that. I disagree with that idea that isolationism being the case of World War I and II. Okay, so the reason I talk about World War I and II and isolationism is because we stayed out of it for a long time, right? We didn't want to be involved. We didn't want to be a part of it. Not to mention FDR was very pro Mussolini and Hitler. Like FDR really loved their ideas with their nationalism. Hence, one of the reasons why FDR was like, hey, we got a whole bunch of Japanese Americans. Let's go out and put them in camps. That sounds like a good idea. Bad idea. I don't like FDR for many, many reasons. But, yeah. Xan, you're probably, I mean, I could see that. He wasn't much about isolationism as he was more about just looking at the blowback. But, you know, also at the time, and I still, even to this day, I support going into Iraq. I will say that it was more personal than anything. It was Desert Storm that brought me into politics. I was 6 years old when we went to Desert Storm, and I've been very actively political since then. And the reason I became political when I was 6 years old during Desert Storm is because I watched the Democrats holding Bush Sr. hostage, saying that if you don't pull out of the war, we are going to stop all funding, and our soldiers will have, you know, nothing. Kind of exactly what the Democrats did to Bush Jr., actually. And it really hosed the military. But when I was 6, I'm sitting there and I'm going, well, how could they do that? Like, we have soldiers out there trying to, like, save people's lives and trying to liberate Kuwait, and they're playing politics. And there's this really bad guy, you know, named Saddam Hussein, blah, 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 right? So as a 6-year-old, I could not understand how people could be playing politics with lives. So when Bush Jr. got elected, I was like, hey, maybe he's gonna fish his daddy's job, and he didn't, and I supported that. I definitely supported Saddam Hussein being taken out, and I think that we had a lot of potential for good. There was some mismanaging. Bush 41 and 43 both shredded the Constitution, 100%. But I mean, honestly, ever since 1776, our Constitution has been pretty perverted. So, I mean, we can't really blame it just on the Bushes. Know what I mean? Any opinion on Virginia Circuit Court ruling last week making it illegal to accept ballots postmarked after Election Day? My thing is that our legislatures are supposed to create the laws when it comes to our voting, and the court is supposed to enforce the law. The fact that a lot of the Trump complaints did not make it to court, didn't even make it to court, that's a problem. So when it comes to Virginia, to that decision, that's pretty awesome. Do I support illegal and unconstitutional wars? I don't believe that going to Iraq was illegal or unconstitutional because Congress voted to go. So it wasn't illegal. Babies from the incubators were really dumped on the floor. I don't even know what that is. Okay, so kind grinds about the WMDs. So the problem with people saying there were no WMDs is that I have seen the UN report where they found the WMDs. Like, there's a United Nations report where they found WMDs. Like, I don't understand how the whole there were no WMDs thing exists. I don't understand that narrative. Like, I've personally seen it. You can Google it. You can find it. I don't understand. Yeah, hey, don't get me wrong. I hate the UN. The UN, I think, is a joke. But the United Nations will sit there and go, hey, we found WMDs, and there's satellite images of the giant caravans going into Syria. Like, I mean, they've used them. They used the weapons. Like, how do they all of a sudden not have them? They used them. I don't get it. I don't understand. And that's look at me asking questions. I don't get it. I don't understand. Somebody explain it to me. Shane, absolutely 100%. The Supreme Court definitely failed. The Supreme Court should have at least heard Pennsylvania, because Pennsylvania was the most egregious account. Now, I don't think that they would have found enough, honestly, truly, to overturn the election. I don't believe so. But I definitely do know that Pennsylvania, for sure, had a whole lot of illegal activity when it came to their election, and it should have been taken to the Supreme Court. I'm not a Bushy. Bush pissed me off. Bush is actually the reason why I don't like being called a Republican anymore. Bush Jr. with the bailouts and all that, like he really lost me. Like, the only thing that I supported from Bush Jr. Was drilling oil in Anwar, which he tried to do that he couldn't do because the Democrats blocked him. I liked the idea of No Child Left Behind. It was perverted horribly, and it was destroyed, so that didn't work out. And there was one other thing that he did that I liked. But that's pretty much it. Everything else he did was very anti-conservative. It was not the 9/11 Commission, the whole Patriot Act thing. Like, it was horrible. Horrible. Yeah, No Child Left Behind definitely turned into Make All Kids Horrible. It was supposed to be a way to gauge teachers and make teachers actually work. The guy just said, go F yourself. No Child Left Behind was supposed to be a way that we could monitor teachers and actually make teachers work on merit instead of just letting the unions own everything. And, it got perverted horribly. It was horrible. And see, that's one of the things I don't like about Trump. I mean, right there, Betsy DeVos was supposed to be all about school choice and all that, but nothing happened. Nothing happened. Betsy DeVos did nothing for our country when it came to our education system. And that was a huge, huge letdown for me. There was so many high hopes, so many promises made, and that is the one place where Trump failed miserably, and he should have traded her out for somebody else or actually done some policies. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that whole Betsy. What did Obama do that I liked or supported? Thank you, Destiny. Thank you very, very, very much. What did I do that what did Obama do that I liked or supported? Oh, there's that Sig Heil dipshit again. Sorry for the language. Certain people get it, you know. What did Obama do that I liked or supported? Honestly, nothing. I mean, I can give you an endless list of things that Obama did that I hated. Negotiating with terrorists, getting missionaries killed by pirates, pulling troops out of Iraq too early and without a plan, talking about local issues, creating a race war. Like, I just honestly, making me lose my insurance, and I have not been able to get insurance since then. Like, I cannot tell you a single thing that Obama did that I liked besides leaving office. I can't. Like, I'm really trying to rack my brain right now thinking about what Obama could have done that I liked. He built cages to put children in at the border. I didn't like that, but that's something that people accuse Trump of doing. Nothing. I honestly can't think of anything that Biden or that Obama did that I liked. Era, what do you think that Obama did that you liked? Maybe we can find some common ground. Maybe you can think of something that Obama did that I would maybe approve of, or something that you liked. Maybe we can find some common ground. I just can't think of anything off the top of my head. I think, the problem with some of his ideas, and I have this conversation with leftists all the time when it comes to like communism and socialism. Communism is a beautiful idea. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful idea. It is magical how beautiful of an idea communism is. But communism can't work because no matter what, the beautiful idea is going to succumb to the human condition. The human condition is going to make it so people will have power. You're right, 100%. It only looks good on paper. In reality, and it works really good in small instances, like a community, right? You can have a community of 100 people that all agree that they're going to be like, we're all going to be communists, we're all going to work together, we're all going to be equal, blah, 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 blah. That works. It works, and they're cool. I mean, I'll admit it, they're pretty cool. But on a national scale, communism can't work just because, look at America right now. Like, we already have kind of an oligarchy starting in this country, and we're supposed to be very anti-communist, right? But we already have elites with all the control, controlling. Oh, there's little kids right there just flipped everybody off, and now they're running. Why are you running? Nobody's chasing you. Nobody cares that you flipped them off. Don't be afraid. Gosh, kids these days. Anyway. Right? Yeah, you know, we have tech giants that are controlling this country, and we're supposed to still be a free society, but we're not, and that's kind of what we're dealing with now. It sucks, you know, and yes, I understand. Don't get me wrong, I understand fully why Obama won. Like, I get it. Obama was a great speaker. He was very charismatic. He was a great speaker. Like, I enjoyed listening to him. I hated every word he said, but I enjoyed listening to him. Like, I'd sit there and listen to stuff that he would say, and I'd be shaking my head, but I'd still be going, yeah, dude, you sound cool. Like, you sound presidential. You sound, you know, you've got a really great, you know, great way about you. Like, I get it why people voted for him. And I get why McCain never had a chance, because it was Come tell us your ideas. Good way to articulate your viewpoint. Oh, Obama was totally a car salesman. You bet. Hey, see, look at that. Some F you, blah, 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 followed by some, did you say the white power signal? To those in the hearing impaired community, it means okay. But, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and just point it this way, because these guys are doing a great time, having a great time. Oh, there's a thumbs down. God, this lady's just like getting it. She loves them. She loves the haters. I won't say it's a dog whistle. I will say it's a troll. It is a huge troll. And I don't know how, honestly, I don't know how okay turned in could have ever been construed. Like, you want to talk about Q people? All right, I'm going to turn the camera just for a second. You want to talk about Q people? How stupid conservatives were for believing Q and all that stuff? Go ahead. Talk for a second about how stupid leftists are for believing this means white power. Or a frog means white power, white supremacy. Like, you can't sit there and say conservatives are a bunch of idiots because they believe conspiracy theories when they created their own conspiracy theories, like white power exists on the right at all, in any way, shape, or form. Especially when Will Quigg, Grand Dragon down there in California, endorsed Hillary Clinton. Just because David Duke or whatever liked Trump, it doesn't mean anything. The Democrats' policies for the last 100 years have been very, very consistent. There has been no party switch or anything like that. They just changed the goalposts a little bit. Just saying. It's a troll. Oh, okay, plausible deniability. Okay, all right, I can give you that. Plausible deniability. It gave a what you call it. A secret code for those who actually might subscribe to that. But I mean, it's still, you're talking 1 out of a million people. Like, if you, for the first time, I found actual Nazis at a rally in Washington. For the first time, it was January 6th, I found actual Nazis at a rally. It was the first time in 5 years of filming out here that I've actually found real Nazis. Now, I did find one real Nazi in Portland while filming one time, and it was awesome because he was Hispanic, so that made it even weirder. The dude was brown, and he's Cuban. No. Yes, I think he was Cuban. But he said he was a Nazi, which was hilarious all in itself. Like, try to find like real Nazis. It's ridiculous. What is a real Nazi? See, that's another good question. I'm talking people who actually go, no, I'm 100% a Nazi. They're like, I hate the Jews. They'd say things like, you know, you're black, you need to go back where you came from. They're like 100% fascism, like they straight up like say they're like, no, I'm a Nazi. Like this dude that was here at the governor's mansion. He's sitting there bragging about how he's got his Hitler Youth knife, and he's like, kill all the Jews. And I'm like, whoa, excuse me, what'd you say? And he's like, yeah. And I'm going, I was shocked. It just, yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, Damon wasn't real. That wasn't even a real knife. But it was still like, they're not here.
Yeah. Thank you again, Destiny. Thank you very, very, very much. And Richard, I will get to your question, but I do want to say thank you guys for donating. Those of you who have donated, like it really means a lot, especially since half of my income is now kaput with Facebook shutting me down. So like any and every donation helps. Like it really makes it so I'm able to like keep coming out and doing this stuff and have these wonderful conversations with you guys. Where'd you go? Common sense. Since most mail-in system laws are going to be changed before 2024, if they don't, how do we go to the booths and feel that our vote will count? So there you go. That's a very good question. Republicans control the majority of states in this country right now. The legislatures do. There are people like Matt Gaetz that's going around doing a national tour at the moment, trying to get state legislatures to change their voting laws to make them more transparent and accurate. The problem is that unfortunately Democrats still control many of the states. That is going to be an issue. The only way that you guys are honestly going to be able to make any change when it comes to your voting regulations and legislation and so on is that you guys show up. You guys got to show up. You guys got to come do stands and demonstrations and stuff like that. Somebody else asked a question, I think. Please explain what the definition of white supremacist is. Or I'll get to your question too. What is a white supremacist? A white supremacist is somebody that believes that I am white, therefore I am better than everybody. If you are not white, then you are less than human. They believe that, yeah, I mean, honestly, that's really probably the best way to describe it, is that they believe that if you are not white, and most of them are even pure, like straight Nazi ideology, where if you are not like 100% German or Aryan or whatever, then you are less than a human. Yeah, that's pretty much the definition of white supremacy. Oh, and nobody can sit there and say that supremacy only like sits with white people. Like black supremacy, La Raza, like, I mean, there are racial supremacy movements all over the place. Yeah, it's not exclusive to white people, and just because they're white doesn't make them any worse than any of the other movements out there. Look at Africa right now. There's African gangs going around and killing white farmers. Like, it's just because you don't see it on the news doesn't mean it's not happening. Like, it's a problem everywhere in the world. Facebook is dead. Would you use it again? Unfortunately, I have to like still have it. Like my family and stuff's on Facebook. So I still have to use Facebook. It's the only way I really can communicate with a lot of my family. A lot of them are old and they just figured out Facebook. So having to figure out a new way to contact me would be difficult. Who is my favorite Democrat president, by the way? Ooh, it's a rough one. I'd have to say Andrew Johnson. The very first, Andrew Jackson, sorry. The very first Democrat president ever. He definitely have to be my favorite president. And fun historical fact, For those of you who think that Andrew Jackson was in charge of the Trail of Tears, you are incorrect. Andrew Johnson got impeached. Andrew Jackson did not. Andrew Jackson was actually the very first populist president. He actually opened up the White House to everybody, to the crowd, to the public, to the people. He made it so that everybody could come celebrate. And if you think the way that or what happened at the Capitol was a problem, you should read about what happened to the White House. It was destroyed. They had one heck of a party, but he was a very populist president. He was the original Democrat, but he was actually a populist. Teddy Roosevelt was a Republican. I love Teddy Roosevelt. I think he was one of the best presidents ever in this country. Definitely top 3. FDR was trash, fascist, piece of crap. Don't like him. Oh yeah, love Teddy. Teddy was amazing. I'll put Teddy above Reagan. Don't get mad at me, guys. Don't get mad at me. I know that's going to really make a lot of people upset, but I mean, Teddy's where it's at when it comes to being a good president. Reagan was good too, but he wasn't perfect. Reagan had some issues. Black Lives Matter is very racist with how they speak. Extremely. Their entire platform is racist. 100%. All right, we got some people over here. Wonder if they're going to be brave enough to come down and walk past. Oh, here they come. Here they come. Am I going to run for a local position? I've thought about it. I'd like to. I just don't know. Oh, there's a finger. I mean, one thing for sure, my positions are pretty clear. On my website, I actually wrote out an actual... Oh, they turned around. They were scared. They turned around, they're walking away. But on my website, I actually wrote out a full-on platform, a political platform. I did it a few years ago, so it's a little dated. Some of the policies... probably aren't as relevant now as they used to be, but yeah, if you guys are interested, you should go check it out. Go to libertyorddeathac.com and go to stories, I think is what it's under. Who is my U.S. representative? Ooh, I don't want to talk about her. Be Jamie Herrera Butler. Can't wait till she resigns. I mean, gets voted out. She's done. She's definitely done. She's always been kind of a rhino, but she kind of sealed the deal with all the pro-impeachment talk and all the condemning or whatever of the Capitol and blowing it out of proportion. Can anyone on the stream explain that sign the Common Sense Conservative just made? I think you might be back in time a little bit there with that question, but it's the I honestly I can't explain to you how the left turned it into a white power symbol, but it's a troll. That's what it is. Hey, I just saw somebody subscribe to libertyorddeathac.com. I missed the name. Sorry, I totally say hi. Thanks. Do they cheat in Washington State? Let me tell you a little story about Washington State and voter fraud. Back in 2000 and a while ago, 2005, I think, it was. I can't remember what year it was exactly. We had a guy running for governor named Dino Rossi. He was a Republican, and he won the election. He won the election 3 times. There were multiple recounts, won the election multiple times. They sued. Of course, the Democrats sued multiple times and took it to the state Supreme Court. And all of a sudden, the state Supreme Court said these votes count. And guess what? Guess what votes they were? They were votes of people that should not have been counted. The dude won 3 times, and the state Supreme Court said, these 3,000 votes right here, you're right. No, they don't count, or they do count. So put them in there for the Democrat, and they lost. There has not been a close election like that again in Washington State. Washington State has won the House and Senate a couple times, but when it comes to gubernatorial races, it's been bloodbaths. Culp was probably the best candidate we've had since Rossi. Culp was amazing. Culp was really good. During the debate, if even half of this state would have watched the debate, they would have seen that Jay Inslee was totally garbage. He just owned him completely in the debate. All Inslee could ever say was Trump this, Trump that, and it was Inslee had no way that he could win this election, and it was not even close. Like, there's no amount of voter fraud that could have actually made it so that that it could have been really that much closer, but it's just because Republicans gave up. After Dino Rossi, Republicans just don't vote in the state anymore because they don't believe that there's a reason to. And I believe, honestly, that's what happened in Georgia this election. If Trump would have just told everybody to go out and vote and, kind of stop talking about how the election, was rigged and stuff like that. I honestly believe that more Georgians would have gotten out a vote. But with the idea and the mentality that the place is rigged, that the election is rigged, it just made it so Republicans didn't come out. No, there's 100% fraud. Nobody can deny there was fraud. Like, the fraud was there. But, yeah, it just, Nicole, how do you donate to the channel? You can do it through Super Chat, but if you really want to help support, in the description of this video, there's a bunch of links, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, and so on, that you can use to donate as well if you would like to. The Super Chats, which I'm not saying by any means don't donate with Super Chat, because like I said, and I say all the time, everything helps 100%, but YouTube takes a good chunk. So, Cash App and Venmo, really cool. PayPal, really good. Especially if you do it through friends and family, then it's free and PayPal doesn't take a penny. I'm missing questions. I'm a very big anti-mail-in voter. Like, I hate mail-in voting. I always drop my ballot off, and then I always check it. I check the rolls to make sure it was brought up. When I lived in Montana, we were in-person voting at that point. I definitely prefer in-person voting with ID. And there's no reason not to. There's 0.001% of our adult population that doesn't have an ID, and they can get one for pennies. So there's no reason not to do voter ID in-person voting. How do we go back to in-person voting in Washington State? We have to vote it in. We have to elect the right people. We have to own our process here. We have to get out and we have to start educating people. And we We have to get a Republican governor. Democrats will never let it go. Democrats will never let mail-in voting go. They won't do it. It is the easiest way to ensure victory. Yep, mail-in voting was self-inflicted. You bet, 100%. Oh, I agree wholeheartedly that Georgia was stolen, but I also believe that Georgia was self-inflicted as well. If you looked at the November 3rd results, there was no way that the Democrats would win. None at all. But with the lack of turnout that showed up, it just, it's a problem. Lack of turnout doesn't help make people win, Washington State GOP is broken. Washington State GOP is getting better. We actually have quite a few more conservative people taking over different districts. They're actually pretty good for the most part that I've seen thus far, anyway, that I've met. So we have, but the biggest thing is that we need people to stop believing that their vote doesn't count.
Oh, yeah. Holy shit, bro.
And we got more people showing up. See, if you show up, more will join you. Sean Shern. But people didn't vote, man. That's the thing. Like, you look at the numbers on November 3rd versus the second, the runoff election or whatever. The numbers just, the turnout wasn't there. Like, you can have voter fraud. And I do agree 100% that there was voter fraud. You bet. However, even in like the biggest red of red counties, the people just didn't vote. Not enough. Robin, yeah, Washington State GOP, they need to grow a couple more cojones. Eccentric, I agree with that. I agree that Trump helped convince people not to show up. And that sucked. Nicole, my website is libertyorddeathac.com. libertyorddeathalphacharlie.com. I haven't been writing very much lately. I've been trying to figure stuff out. Richard, where's Villain been? Villain is going through some stuff. Villain is very new to the Patriot world. Villain is very new to being an activist world, to all of this actually. And Villain is taking a break. He's been through a lot. He watched that lady get trampled in DC in the Capitol building. He's going through a lot. So he might be doing some stuff in the future, but yeah, he's kind of taking it easy for a little bit. KM, I will definitely do that. I'll take a screenshot here to make sure I keep it so I can go look at it. Got it. Oh, I'm good. Thank you, though. He came up and offered me a sandwich. I went to Subway and got some sandwiches. Look at that. See, guys? See, look at that. You guys show up to some of these things, they feed you. Troll Slayer, 100%. Tracy Abrams campaign. Hey, conservatives really need to learn how to party. Like they need to learn how to party. Conservatives don't know how to play the game. Conservatives keep playing by the system, right? And who wrote the system? Lefties. Like Stacey Abrams ran a great campaign and still lost. The Democrats put millions upon millions of dollars into Georgia, door to door, door knocking, getting them out there like cheating, essentially cheating. And it just, we gotta get better at this game. We need a better ground game. Oh my gosh, please stop talking about the Pope. KMF 3000. So there has been a lot of talk about Eastern Washington going into, what do they call that? Greater Idaho. Eastern Washington and Oregon breaking off into Greater Idaho. I don't think it has much of a chance. Been talking about it for a long time. It's a dream. It's a dream. Oh, I remember, was it January 6th? Everybody was talking about how the Pope got arrested, and I'm like, just stop. Just stop. The Pope did not get arrested. Cut it out. Thank you, Destiny. Thank you.
After that, I called this guy who Davis Wells, that actually probably could have been
If I was on the front lines at the U.S. Capitol on the 6th, do you think you would have entered the Capitol building? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I know Villain, for instance, Villain didn't try to enter. He didn't mean to enter. He was actually pulled in. He was up by the door, and somebody actually grabbed him and pulled him into the fray, and he couldn't get out. Like that was nuts. But I don't. I think I probably would have gone in just because, like, it's my job, right? My job is to report, what's going on and to document what's happening. So I have found myself in places that were not probably, the best or most convenient, but it allowed me to film and document like the truth and stuff that actually happened. So I probably would have gone in just because my conscience would have told me to. I wouldn't have liked it. I would not have been happy about it. It's kind of like, when I was filming Antifa attacking the courthouse down in Portland, like there were so many times that I didn't have a gas mask sitting there in the middle of a giant cloud of federal tear gas, which is no joke and makes civilian tear gas feel like a Tic Tac, like a cinnamon gum or something like that. Like, I've been in a lot of sketchy situations just so I could film the, truth and stuff. So like I probably would have gone in, but I would not have been happy about it in retrospect. Oh, bear mace is rough. I've been bear maced so many times. The only time I've been bloodied was Well, not the only time. I've been blooded a few times, but yeah, I've been point blank direct hit with bear mace, and it's not a good day. Followed by really super fine glitter and a silly string can to the nose. Yeah. I'll take tear gas. I'll take federal tear gas over any sort of bear mace any day. You can walk out of tear gas and you're fine. Like, no lasting effect. Even though actually federal tear gas does stick with you for a while because it does get on your skin and it kind of hangs out and your clothes. Not a good time, but it's still pretty mild compared to bear mace. Bear mace, man, that sticks with you for hours. You could, all the Dawn dish soap and what's the medicine that you can use? If the country splits, would you stay in Washington? Well, to be...
If you want some of the sub over here, can you grab some?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you, though. If it wasn't for my job, I would already be in Montana. The only reason that I'm still in Washington is because my family. I have family that lives in Washington and Oregon, and it's really convenient for my job. And with the platforms shutting me down and stuff and hurting my income levels, traveling out of Montana to go to these things, it would be quite difficult. But I'll tell you what, as soon as it's feasible, you better believe I'd be back in Montana. Washington is rough. That gel mace is pretty rough. There's some pretty potent gel maces that, like, it sticks on you. Yeah, look at that. Both of us same time. Great minds think alike. Nicole, welcome to Liberty or Death. I was able to see that name. It's pretty cool on the website. No, I'm okay, thank you. They keep offering me sandwiches. But Steve Tuck, their flags are upside down for a reason. They believe that our nation is in distress, which I would agree with. So one thing that I've been hearing a little bit out of lately is that people are using Raid, like wasp spray. No, thank you. I don't condone that behavior at all. What do I send out from my website? So from my website, I design. There was a finger coming out of that Prius. Go figure. Out of my website, I do a little bit of writing, or I have done a little bit of writing. I haven't done very much writing recently, but I do a little bit of writing, and I design apparel. I used to have a lot more, and then a lot of it got taken out. And a lot of it got deleted because it didn't follow community standards. But so I'm kind of rebuilding it. I actually had to change platforms because my website was taken down from its original host. So now it's on a new one. But yeah, a little bit of writing here and there. I read a couple articles about some of the things that I cover, and apparel stuff like that. But if the best way to stay in touch and everything is to go on Telegram. On the description of this video, you can go down and there's a link to a Telegram thread that I'm the only one that can post on. So that way you guys will get all the content and events and stuff like that. What message are the Patriots they're trying to send today? These guys are basically out here trying to show Olympia and elsewhere that they are not afraid, that they're unapologetically American, that they're here to actually stand up for their freedoms and their rights, and that they believe our nation is in distress, and that they want more and more people to show up and be a part of this. And I think they are closing it up. I don't think they will be here tomorrow, but I do believe that they, oh, there's a thumbs down, a bunch of haters. But I do believe that they're going to be here every Saturday, I guess, at 11. 10 days into Biden administration, what's my take so far? Earlier in the stream, somebody said, give Biden a chance, stop being hypocrites for Trump. Like you were about Trump, telling everybody to give Trump a chance, blah, 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 blah. I've given Biden a chance, and he's already killed 11,000 jobs in like his first day in office. He is the most popular president in our nation's history, according to the liars in charge. And yet he has yet to be able to get any bills done or anything like that. He feels that instead of legislating, he's going to just do executive orders. He's done more executive orders in his first few days than like anybody. And yeah, I've given Biden a chance, and he's horrible. he's gonna be bad. It's gonna be a bad year or so before he resigns due to health or whatever he wants to do, and then Kamala gets put in charge. But yeah. I heard it was 45 now. 45 executive orders already. Because he's been busy today. Give him 2 years. I give him a year. Oh, the lady likes Biden. That's cool. But I don't think he'll last 2 years. I don't think he'll do it. Have you seen him signing some of his executive orders? Like, he doesn't even know what he's signing. The dude's a shell. The dude doesn't have his cognitive ability. He literally said, "What am I signing?" Like, he cannot last too long. He's gonna be so tired. He's gonna be napping. No, they don't want him to last. They honestly don't want him to last. When they chose Kamala, it's all a plan. It's all a plan. They want to make history by having Kamala be the first woman and woman of color at the same time. Like it's a threefer, because she's what, black and Indian, right? So it's believable. Steve Talk, upside down flags is just distress. Antifa and BLM would just burn them. They wouldn't put them upside down. Antifa and BLM doesn't have the intellectual cognizance of actually at 11, at noon. All right. See you guys. All right, guys. So if you're in Washington State next Saturday at noon, be here or be a fatriot or a part-time patriot, whatever. Flag burning is free speech. You cannot change my mind. And no, I'm not quoting Kind Grinds. That is my own opinion. Boom. What's up? Just because you don't like somebody's free speech, what somebody has to say, or somebody's expression, does not mean that it shouldn't happen. I might not like it. I love the quote, "I might not like what you have to say, but I will fight to the death for your right to say it." And that includes burning a flag. Now, I also agree that actions have consequences, and if you're sitting there and there's a bunch of bikers that are telling you that, hey, if you burn this American flag, I'm going to kick your ass. Well, I mean, it's a clue, buddy. There's going to be consequences to your action. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's a thing. Flag burning is not speech, but it is expression. It's getting a little breezy here. I'm gonna lower my umbrella a little bit so my camera above doesn't get too wet. Hopefully it doesn't get too low here. There we go. That's better. Yep, I think I'm gonna head home. It's about probably 38 degrees here right now. And the wind's picking up, so that's caused a little wind chill, a little damp. Nice lady to stop for me. The people on the other side are doing a very good job. You too. Might see you guys next week.
Yep, we'll be here.
Have a good one. Thank you.
Thank you guys. I'll try to get more people out here for you.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
You too. All right, I'm gonna scooch back to my car, to my mode of transportation, which also means that I'm gonna have to cut this thing short because, well, I don't like to publicly display my vehicle because there's undesirables that watch these. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys hit the description, go on to the Telegram link, get on there, get on the thing. And I communicate on there as well. Also, fun fact, if you guys join on Patreon, there is a exclusive Discord link on there, so you guys can conversate with me whenever you want to. And like I said at the beginning of the video, make sure y'all check out or click that bell and hit the all notifications, because YouTube made it very clear that if you don't, you won't ever see a notification and you'll never see my stuff unless you physically look for it. I'm gonna go and do some searching when I get home to see if there's stuff going on tomorrow. It's been really hard to find events because, like I said, a lot of people are scared. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Check out the links, check out the website, check out some of the stuff I've written. I'm pretty proud of some of it. I've put the racist history of the Democrat Party is my favorite project I was ever worked on. It just goes through a timeline of pretty much how the Democrats have never changed. When it came to their positions, they just moved the goalposts. I'm very proud of that and the research that I did creating that thing. And then my platform, of course, my political platform. If you have any idea or want to know where I stand on certain issues, it's libertyorddeathac.com. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I will see you again soon. Bye, guys.